Welcome to this look at a new mod map to console, but an update for the PC version on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Monette Farms map is where I find myself today. This is by Mapper's Paradise. As far as I can tell, this is new to console because it had an update yesterday. If it's not new to console, then I missed this as a map tour. So I'm doing the map tour anyway. As far as I'm aware, it is new to console. There's one required mod for this, the Bourgault 3420 100 Paralink hoe drill and 71 300 air cart by Giant Software. It did automatically download, yes. Contracts are available on this map. I haven't found a biogas plant on the map, but there are a few areas as we go around. You'll see placeable areas where you can put stuff down if you want to. The map looks like this. I think it's 17 fields. Now this is farming on another level. It reminds me very much of I watched a little bit of Mike Mitchell up in Saskatchewan. So Monette Farms is based on the Monette Farms headquarters located in Swift Current, Canada. They own and operate a few farms across Canada and also in the United States, so based on a real place. 306.77 megabytes to download. Field prices, I have to say, considering the size of them. On New Farmer we start with this plot here, 20, which is the main farm area. Plot 28 there, which is the Monette cattle farm. And we've got 11, 30, 1, and we've got 8 down here. But if we go for a sort of small bit down there, 54 grand. There's some forestry here and forestry up here. Again, not too expensive. That massive field there, 886. I mean, I would have put that at knocking on 2 million, the size of it. So field prices, 122 grand for that one. That's not bad, is it? 244. That's interesting. That's 244. That's 122. I would put those at a similar size. Grab that one while you can before the price goes up. So, this is the map. Slot count we can talk about straight away. We might as well talk about it straight away. On New Farmer it's 1,349. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch it's 1,206. Now, you still start with all the vehicles and machinery. You don't start with any of the buildings and silos and stuff like that. Interestingly, the farm over there, the cattle farm, you can just see the cow barn there. The cow barn is still there on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, and there's a fermenting silo over there as well, which is also still there. You do start with some cows, which we'll get to later on. On all three game modes, that is still there with cows in. So I went over, I removed the buildings I could remove, I sold all the vehicles. So on Farm Manager Start from Scratch, or if you want to do it on here as well, I managed to get the slot count down to 926, down from 1349 to 1206, down to 926. So you can get it right down if you want to start with all different start equipment. You know, that of course would be up to you. As far as mods put in by the map maker, other than the required mod, there's no vehicles or machinery, but if we go into build mode, we've got a few sheds and buildings out here, and the silos we've got quite a few. So flat bottom bin 3609, 1.1 million litre capacity, and then this one here, I think that's a raised one. So that's set up on pillars. Then we've got this one here, the Monette silo 10, which is 1,750,000 litres, and then we've got the fermenting silo, which is over at the other farm, which we'll get to. There's nothing under silo extensions, containers, tools. I don't think it was. Oh yeah, tools. We got the shed. Hang on. And then under farmhouses we've got the farmhouse, which is just in front of us. Under production we've got some extra ones. We've got the Swift Dairy, Sawmill and Swift Grain Elevator. The production speeds I think are a little bit different on them, and they're just a little bit slightly modified on there. Sell points, we've got Swift Market, Monette Seed and De Route. Nothing under greenhouses, orchards or generators. Animals, the only one is the cow barn over that we've just kind of had a look at. That's the same price as, oh no, it's not the same price as any of them. It's 185 grand and it will do 140 cows. So this is where things get interesting. That says 140 cows. Remember that when we get over there, because I had one of those mind fry moments. The rest of the animals are all standard. There was nothing under decoration, nothing in particular under landscaping. So The main farm then. This is big farm stuff. I'm not going to run through all of the machinery in detail. We'll see it as we go around. As you can see, we've got 2 lorries with double set trailers. People are very proud to be Canucks here. Monette Farms, you'll see when we go into the farmhouse. Even the wallpaper. It's mind-boggling. So, farmhouse. You can come in. Lights on. We've got a door at the back as well. Look at the wallpaper when we go in. Oh, it wasn't this one, was it this one? Oh yeah, look. Maple leaf wallpaper. Nothing wrong with being patriotic. And in that room. And in that room. We've got wardrobe. It says if we can get the trigger to work. Why is the trigger not working? There you go, open wardrobe. And sleep trigger is just there. So that's the farmhouse. We'll come around this side. We've got a few sheds and buildings, little concept just in there. And then we come round to our silos, and there are a lot of them. So we start off with herbicide tanks. So these are herbicide tanks over the side here that can be filled up. 173,500 litres of herbicide if you want herbicide. Over this side we have got, these are buy points actually, for seed, well, say for seed, for crops. As you can see, we can buy any of those crops in if we want to. So these are buy anything silos. We've got one here, and I think another one here. Yeah. So we can buy them, refill them, and we can use whatever we want from there. Another storage building to the side there. And then we've got these. So the flat bottom bins, 3609s. There are 4 of them here. These are the ones, I think, 1.1 million. So we've got 4 here. You're going to need augers for those. Over this side, these are our solid fertiliser silos. 137,706 litres lime or solid fertiliser, and we've got a row of those. Then we got the Monette Silo 10, which is the 1.75 million litre that runs all the way along there. Putting in is done here, taking out is right down the end there. You can just see a pipe, we'll get to that in a minute. And then we sort of start to get a look at the machinery now. This this is just for decoration. That's, although it's leaning over the side of an auger. But as you see, we've got header trailer there, or header and there, 2 headers there. We've got the corn header there, 2 large augers, massive speed tiller. We've got 4 harvesters, 1 Steiger, 2 quad tracks, and 1 Magnum. I have to say, I let the time speed up a little bit when I was going around the map, and even when the sun comes up a bit, the shadows are still fairly dark in places on the map. I found that sometimes on maps. You go around, some places seem a lot brighter than others. So in some places the shadows are a little bit dark. Now, this whole farm area, as I said, on farm management start from scratch, you don't start with any of the buildings, silos or anything, but you do start with the machinery. All of this stuff, I couldn't remove it. So all these decorative objects, whilst the rest of the area was clear, there are quite a few of these dotted around, which I couldn't get rid of. So placing new building stuff down, you just have to do around those objects. It does say there are 2 collectibles. If we go into here and we scroll down till we get to that page there, bottom on the right hand side says collectibles collected 0 out of 2. I haven't found either one of them. I would imagine they're going to be worth a few pfennigs, but there are a couple. So plenty of equipment and machinery. Massive shed space here. I mean, absolutely colossal. It's cavernous. It's got a very millennial farmer vibe to it, just bigger. It just seems a lot. But is it bigger? I don't know. It's massive. Water point just here. Fuel tank just here for 25,000 litres, which can be refilled. Little shed, wherever you want to store. Well, you store whatever you like in it, but little shed garage. If we come into the building here, we can go through the building. Workshop trigger is just here with the space here for the workshop itself, but the trigger is tucked away in here. Lighting. We can get up around there, up onto the mezzanine. There are a couple of doors that open. Bathroom facilities, washrooms. Up into the office space, upstairs. Is it this one that takes you out onto the balcony? Yeah. So, as I said, huge with workshop trigger just in here. The two lorries are out the front. Just there. And then we've got more of the 3609 bins. Remember, these are 1.1 million. There's 11 of these in a row with our auger at the end. The required mod, the Bourgault seed drill. We do start with one of those. Absolutely huge bit of equipment around there. I'm going to grab one of the lorries because we're going to head out. Plenty of space out and around, and a lot of the placeable areas. If we go back to the map again, so down here we've got all these areas. These are all available to purchase separately, so for adding new placeable points, there's another one down here we'll get to later on as well. There was nothing in the forest. There's a couple of little lakes, not the Great Lakes, but there are some there. So I'm going to grab, actually I probably should turn those lights off, shouldn't I? One of the lorries. Before we do that, we'll have a look. I'd like to say we'll have a look at all the equipment. Medium tractors, we'll get to JCB later on. Large tractors we've seen. The trucks we've seen. 4 harvesters we've seen. The pickup we'll get to later on as well. We've got the Distinction Super B lead trailers and pull trailers. We've just seen those. The augers we've seen. We haven't got to any of this stuff yet. The mowers, tedder, forage wagon. The disc harrow we've seen. The headers we've seen. The seeder we've seen, and the belt system we've seen over in the corner. The rest of this stuff is all over at the cattle farm, so there's a fair amount of it. Let's grab one of these. So yeah, I'm trying to think of another map where we've started out with 4 harvesters, 5 tractors, including 2 quad tracks and a Steiger, and so many grain bins. I mean, it's absolutely mad. So I'm only using this to go to the other farm, because the other farm is where we'll find the pickup. Looking at my notes, not where I'm driving. And like I said, when you consider the price of the fields, they're absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. I like the grass texture. There's a lot of flowers in amongst it, but it's got a real lovely meadow grass of kind of lush, thick feel to it. There are no extra crop types. There we go. Nope, standard crop types. It doesn't sound in the description, but I suddenly thought it'd be one of those things I say, there's no extra crop types, and turns out there actually are. So it doesn't hurt to have a quick check. Now the change log for this does say bugs fixed XMLs, sound at dealer and field 3 fixed, fixed house XML and fixed other small bugs. It doesn't say console release. Like I say, I don't recall it coming out on console before. I knew it had come out on PC. But I say, either way, I hadn't done a map tour on it, so Monette cattle coming up. Turn in here. If you like your big maps, it's interesting because we didn't have, I'm trying to think, on console we didn't have that many Canadian maps, if any, on FS19. And we're always going to say, if you like your big American style maps, but obviously the big Canadian maps as well, with huge open spaces. Pickups just here. There's no sleep trigger here. You can place one if you want to, of course. We come through here. It's a massive gate though. You've got some shed space. Just in here. And this is where we got the fermenting silo. Now, interestingly, although it's on the land, and on New Farmer, we're over here, we start with this plot of land, you don't actually own the fermenting silo. That's a production. So if you want it, you need to buy it. I think what I'm going to do... So, around the back, you can hear it's running at the moment. So the moment you don't own it. If we click on buy production, buy 135 grand, we buy that. Chaff silage, hay silage and grass silage. Now whilst the recipes aren't very high, 10 for 10, so they're a direct, you know, you get a direct 1-to-1 ratio. The cycles per month are 60,000. So the cycles per month are quite high while the recipes are fairly low. So you should get a fair amount on there on the 3 types of silage that you can do here. But once I've purchased it and been into that menu, the sound stops. So I'm assuming once you put something in here, the sound will start up again because it does have a sound added to it. So, massive silage clamp. This can be removed. That can be removed. These sheds, I couldn't remove them. The cow barn can. Now, as I said, remember what I said? 140 this holds. On all 3 game modes, you have cows in here. And the cows just wander. They're just wherever they like. That's why we've got the cattle grid up at the gate there. Because all this area, they can just wander out onto the pasture all over, which is actually really quite cool. I like that. Slurry point is at this end. Feed and bedding down the side. And here, if we click on this, wait for it, we've got 150 out of 140 cows. So according to this, and it does say, if we come to here, we've got 79 and 71. I make that 150. But this is only supposed to hold 140. So we've got 10 more cows than this will hold. I don't know how that's worked. But they're out there apparently. There's 150 cows swanning around. Milk point is at this end. We haven't got a manure heap. So you have to put manure heap in if you want your manure. But the rest of the equipment is scattered around. We've got our mower just there. Feed mixer that does have some feed in it. It's got some Tomix ration in it, 13,000 litres. The JCB forage wagon, front loader and gear is just here. So this is all the rest of the stuff that wasn't over at the other farm. And if we swing down again over the cattle grid, although would the cows wander around? I don't know. We've got our tedder and we've got our front bucket there for the front loader gear. So that's the cattle farm. What we'll do now, I'll grab the pickup because it'll be a little bit quicker as we go around. Let's get round to the rest of the map. I'm trying to remember what the name of the map was on FS19 when it came out. I know quite a few YouTubers jumped on it because it was something like, it was only like 3 fields. What was it called? The fields were colossal. We've had a couple now that have been like that, but it's just big open country. So we're going to carry on straight down this side. We're on the eastern side of the map. We're going to carry on heading south. Get airborne over here. Oh, that's alright. So if you go to the right there, that takes you around to that fencing area, which is a placeables point. Put in whatever you want. We come around to this end, we have got the debris crusher. and we've got Deroute sell point. So there's our debris crusher just there, and then Deroute is just here. We've got potato, and I think it's just potato, sugar beet and sugar cane. I'm sure that's what it said in the menu. We open the pit for tipping, so that's the sell point just here, Deroute, and the debris crusher. Put back in there. From here then, we're going to cut across country a little bit. It's the next set of sell points. Go this way. Should take us through to a little track through the woodland. There we go. Lovely undulating terrain. So the washouts all between the various different fields. It's got a little bit of a Stone Valley vibe to it, I guess, as well. A little bit of a feeling with that. Miller's Sawmill. Production chain just here. Across the road, gas station. Now, because all of these plots, as I said, we've come from the cattle farm there all the way down the side there to Deroute and the debris crusher. We then cut across down the side of this field here onto that track. We're now here. Because you can buy each of these plots, there is a little garage. It's interesting as well, literally, well actually, yesterday, the modded vehicle for that came out. And then we've got this little version of it just sitting there, an old kind of rusted version. But we've got Robert's Garage and Jackie's Cafe. So you could, because you can buy this plot of land, you could put a sell point in here, a restaurant one or anything you like, just a generic sell point. If you wanted one here down at the cafe. So we can go up, across and back down again because we need to be heading over there. It's the next set of sell points. So we'll be heading west momentarily. And then we'll go north up the map. Plenty of space for large machinery and equipment, which, to be fair, is what you start with. There are a few fences around some fields. Oh, there we go. On cue. I have to say, I'm really enjoying playing on Edgewater, Saskatchewan at the moment. Driving across this one, it's impressive and it's big, but I'm really hankering for, I need to get back to my roots. I'm really hankering for a small, sort of British map probably. Anyway, sorry, just driving across thinking that it's impressive and it's massive and it's, you know, looking for something a bit more intimate. So, around the back of here, we have got, this is the wool market, so we can sell cotton and wool here. As I've said before, when we do map tools, if you're not sure what you can sell at each one, just go into the prices menu, go down to each item, and then on the right hand side it will tell you what can be sold where. This is Swift Market. So wool market, Swift market. We've got Swift Dairy, just there. And then we've got Milk Market, just there. And we've got a lime station, just there. Now I'm going to buy the dairy. I don't think... Is this one that... think that's fairly standard. It hasn't got faster productions. I think it's just been renamed, that's all. Then we continue. So placeables, point on our right hand side there. If you've got ideas for storylines, you could buy that plot there. And we can buy all of these plots, you can put stuff on. Same with on the right hand side just there. Then on the left hand side we've got the vehicle dealer. Again, loads of space here. The workshop trigger is round the back, just there. The reset point, if a vehicle needs to be reset or when vehicles spawn, out on this massive area here. So again, plenty of room. But there's loads of space here for adding whatever placeables you want in. So there's your workshop trigger just around there. And then your vehicle store. Trigger's just there. Don't think any of these doors opened. No. They are hiring though. That's good to know. You know, just in case. Don't think that goes into the workshop either. I don't think on this one we can actually access the workshop. I'm pretty sure these shutters all stay closed. Yeah, nothing comes up to open them. But yeah, loads of space around it. So that's the vehicle store. Vehicle workshop. And here, this is for all intents and purposes, this is the grain mill. But this is Swift Grain Elevator. If we buy this one, this will set you back 175 grand. But this one, as you can see, wheat flour, barley flour, oat and sorghum flour, but 7,200 cycles per month with recipes of 500 to 300. So that should chug away quite nicely. So that's Swift Grain Elevator. And now we're going to be heading north. Let's go. That's interesting because it does say changelog, sound at dealer and filled through. Whoa, looking at my notes again. Fixed. I didn't, unless I missed it or didn't walk around where I should have done, I didn't notice any sound at the dealer. Anyway, this is where things get interesting. I haven't come across this before, but livestock market. And we've got bale sales. Bale sales to the right, livestock market to the left. We go over to here. How cool was that? That's brilliant, proper auction going on. So, animal dealer, bale sales. Another placeables area to our left. And then coming up here, the very north of the map, we've got Monette Seeds. So Monette Seeds, this bit here is the sell point, just here. But here we've got a seed production building which can be purchased. 35 grand once purchased. We can make seeds from all of those: wheat, barley, oat, canola, soybean, corn and sorghum, requiring 100 of each plus 10 of liquid fertiliser and 5 of herbicide, and that will give us 100 back out. So for a small amount of liquid fertiliser and herbicide we can do seed production here from any of those. People have asked me this in the past as well with regard to seed production. There are a few mods out there. If I make seeds from wheat, seeds from barley, seeds from oat, and if you use the AGI pack conveyor that does seed, that seed just becomes down here a generic seed. It's not just a seed for that particular crop type. So if you make wheat seed, That's not just for doing wheat, it's anything. It just becomes a generic seed over this side. It's just what you're using to make the seed in the first place. So, there you go. Seed production, Monette seed sell point. Across the road, we've got another gas station. Like I said, as far as I can tell, can't find a biogas plant. But there are plenty of spaces. So from there, we came up, across, and down. Took all of these and the spaces for placeables. Then we came all up there. Livestock market, auctioneers, bale sales, up here at Monette seeds and seed production, and the gas station. If we go across again, looking just for a plot anywhere where there might be one, but there's not. Not as far as I can tell. And that is Monette Farms by Mapper's Paradise. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.